Get the frogs out of my throat. Hi, okay. This video is probably going to be a little bit shorter than expected, or than usual, rather. Yeah, shorter than usual. Because I was going to do a different video this week, but we didn't get all the supplies together in time, so it's not quite ready. Instead, I'm going to use one of my short little fill-in videos, and it's going to be a recipe video, how to make sushi salad and sushi burritos. And this is really great if you want to take it like to a party or something, or you have a whole big group of people, and sushi can take a really long time to make. And if you do it this way, it's really quick, really easy. You throw it all together and bam, you get all the same flavor with a lot less work, which is awesome. That's how I like it. Anyway, this is kind of an invention of one of my daughters because she wanted some sushi one night and she didn't want to mess with making it for the whole family because that's an ordeal. So she was like, what if we just put all this together? And I was like, let's try it. And it turned out great. So then we took it a step further and turned it into like little hand rolls or sushi burritos, whatever you want to call them. And it's freaking awesome and so much easier than regular sushi. Anyway, let's go do this. I'm gonna walk you through all of the ingredients I used first. Of course, you can use whatever the heck your family likes, but here's the stuff my family likes. I do use seedless cucumbers just because they're a little less watery. And of course you could go with daikon instead of radishes, but this is what's at the local supermarket. Most of the time I would go with a more glutinous sushi rice, but all I had was regular jasmine rice, and that works just fine for this. I cooked 2 cups. That's 2 cups dry. Now, you really should use rice wine vinegar, but I was out, so here we are. I'm using white wine vinegar. It works all right. Not quite as good, but it works for now. All those spicy things we'll be putting on individual wraps because I have some people who are against spicy stuff in my house. Gonna start off by using a fork to kind of fluff up the rice. You want to break it up as much as possible without mushing the rice. Now I'm going to transfer all of this into a big bowl. Oh, by the way, this is cold rice. It's cooked and then cold. That part's important. I'm going to take 1 large avocado and I'm going to pit it. Am I the only one who can never pick up the pits? So I have this handy dandy avocado tool and I really love it. I use it all the time. It makes avocado gutting really easy. It also kind of helps me pre-mush up my avocado a bit. Or slice it, whatever you're gonna do at the time. But right now, we're smushing it. If you don't have one of these tools, avocados are pretty easy. After you cut them in half and take the pit out, you can just slice like this, being careful not to slice through the skin. I'm gonna score lengthwise and crosswise to make a bunch of little squares. And then I'm going to use the spoon and just scoop it all out. Now I'm just gonna kind of give it a rough chop. I'm not trying to get a super smooth, like, guacamole consistency here. I'm just kind of mushing it so it's not big chunks. Then I'm going to add a whole medium-sized lime, and I'm gonna roll this around kind of roughly on the counter before I slice it open. That just helps get the juice out easier. Then I'm going to use my little juicer here and fumble with the lime a lot as I try to juice it. My hands were slippery, y'all. I had avocado all over them. If you don't have a juicer, just squeeze it over your hand. I mean, limes don't usually have a bunch of seeds in them. Lemons are really the ones you have to worry about, but I do this anyway just to catch any chunks. So yeah, pour the juice of an entire lime in there. I know, at this point it looks like I'm just making guacamole. But now we're gonna take a block of cream cheese at room temperature and throw that sucker in there. And again, we moosh. This doesn't have to be super stirred in, we just, again, want to break up the big chunks. Now we start adding our other ingredients. I'm going to start off with the soy sauce. This is just regular soy sauce and I'm going to use 4 tablespoons. Again, feel free to change this up for your own taste. Next, we're going to move on to that white wine vinegar. That should be rice wine vinegar. Going to add 2 tablespoons of that. And now I'm going to take my mirin and add 1 tablespoon. Oyster sauce, again, 1 tablespoon. One teaspoon of sesame oil. And this is furikake. I'm probably saying that wrong. If you know how to say it right, you can tell me in the comments, but it's a seaweed sesame seasoning mix that is really tasty. Anyway, I'm putting 1 tablespoon in there. Then I'm going to mix this goop all around. After I get it pretty well mixed, I'm just gonna dump it into my rice and stir it in. When I stir the rice, I use kind of a folding and chopping motion like you see here, and that's because I'm trying not to destroy the grains of rice. I want to keep as many of the grains whole as I possibly can. I'm also eating pieces that fall out of the bowl because that's really important. Now that that's thoroughly mixed, we're going to start cutting up our other ingredients to add. I'm going to start off with my cucumber. I've got to cut the ends off first because my dogs love cucumber and I always give them the ends as a treat. Now, how you dice your cucumber is up to you, but if you watch here, you'll see how I dice mine. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Just make it into small pieces. Uniformity is not something I worry about, obviously. Now we have the matchstick radishes, and of course you could go, like I said, with daikon or whole radishes, however you want to do it. You don't even have to do radishes. Just do whatever vegetables you like. I'm doing radishes. And I got them matchstick just so I was further ahead because I'm kind of lazy. But I am going to chop them up a little bit more because I don't want huge chunks. I want little bitty pieces. And now I'm going to also dice up my imitation crab meat. I mean, you could be more fancy and go with real crab meat, but that ain't me. That's too expensive. So here we are, cutting this stuff up. And now my personal favorite part, the smoked salmon. Of course, again, you can go with whatever kind of fish you like. You could do raw fish, you could do tuna, whatever. We just really like the smoked salmon, so that's what I'm using. I'm gonna dice it all up into small pieces, just like I did everything else, and then dump it in. Now for the final stir. Again, we're doing that kind of fold and chop motion to stir up our sushi salad. You want to make sure you get it really thoroughly incorporated this time around. Now I'm going to get out a piece of parchment paper, just a little bit bigger than my sheet of nori. I'm going to take a bowl of water and just put a little bit of water across the nori. This is just to soften it up so it doesn't crack. And then right along this one edge here, you're going to see me add more water. Then that kind of helps it seal when you roll up the stuff inside the nori. Stuff. I'm real professional. So now I'm going to put my sushi salad along this far end, away from where I put the strip of water on the nori. Don't overfill it because you'll be sad. You'll bust out your nori, trust me. Now this sushi salad is like great on its own. This is just another way you can eat it. There are fancier and more professional ways to roll this up, but here goes my method. I'm going to start at the end that has the stuff in it, and somebody's going to kick my camera. Anyway, and then I'm just going to kind of use the parchment paper, and as you'll see, I just kind of use it to help me roll the sushi along. Now I'm going to roll it up one final time and just kind of give it a little bit of a squeeze to kind of put everything in place well. And that parchment paper helps hold everything in while you chomp on it. Turns out really great. It's really easy, really fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you come back next week.